you had these people on, you had this music on, and there was, I remember nights where it was an event. I remembered, I think there was, I could be making this up, but I seem to remember a night where like Eddie Murphy's there, and Eddie's the biggest thing on the planet. And, I think Michael Jackson comes by, and you're looking at...
back in the day, I used to host the MTV Awards.
Yeah.
And like, I think I did it for 3 years, but one of those years, Michael couldn't come to the MTV Awards. So we made a deal that the award he was getting would be given to him on my show the next week.
Wow, okay.
And there was also an award in the film world for Eddie. So I'm like, let's see if Eddie will come and Michael and Eddie can kiss each other's ass. No. Michael and Eddie.
Okay. I'd tune in for that.
Michael and Eddie can each give the other an award, and that's how we did it. Michael said, Eddie is the best comedian in the history of, and Michael gave him, and Eddie is like, Mike, so this one is for you, and Eddie gave him, and it was the best segment ever.
Yeah, so
especially when me and Eddie are out there, and Michael walks out.
Yeah,
we knew he was walking out, and it fucked us up.
Yeah.
It's like,
but
Michael.
That was an event. People talk about, everyone's trying to make events happen on TV, and I think they're fewer and farther between. They don't happen that often. But you come along at this moment, and this is just unprecedented. This is unprecedented. And you brought all of these entertainers that meant so much to you, and you bring them, you're so true to what you want to do that you start getting it from both sides. You get white people saying, or white, it's a network note, I think sometimes. It's not a network note. I shouldn't say that.
It's too black. The show is too black.
The show is too black.
And you're too black.
Okay. Was that a thing that was actually said to you?
Oh, yeah. We talk in meetings. Nobody could text back then because it hadn't been invented.
Yeah.
And they would not only tell me you're too black, but they would give me examples of what I shouldn't do. Mm-hmm. And, you mentioned one earlier, stop calling everybody brother. But that was an interesting meeting because I went over to an executive's office and they said, I was listening to the show because executives would have monitors on watching everything. And the executive said to me, stop calling your guest brother. And I said, what do you mean? I said, tonight, I'm listening to the show and all I hear is brother this and brother that. And that sounds like it's not inclusive to your larger audience. And what they didn't do was pay attention to who I was talking to. Because I was calling Mark Wahlberg brother. He was with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah.
And so what they learned with me is, there are a lot of things I'm doing that maybe need to be ironed out or changed, but pay attention because I call everybody brother, and some of this stuff.
If Mr. Rogers was on, you'd say, "Hey, brother."
Yeah. Me and Mr. Rogers had identical jackets that we picked out for the show one night, and I'm like, "Brother Rogers." Yeah,
but you get that, okay? Which people would probably.
And one more thing, and the hardest part. The hardest part is when Black people come at you. They come at you with bars and spit. Like when Ice Cube was mad, he found something that rhymed with Arsenio, and released a track. People ask me, when you...
Now I'm thinking.
See, when you make Streisand mad, it's not as much a problem.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube, that motherfucker was
that's
sitting
what
at
I
home.
wanted to talk about. You're getting, you're having...
People ask me if I like the bicentennial. I hate it and I hate Arsenio. It was some shit like that.
It wasn't his best rhyme. But that's the point I'm making is that you're getting these notes from white people saying it's too black, but you're also at the same time getting flack from the black community saying it's not black enough.
Yeah.
And you get some flack from, Spike Lee, and you get some flack from some other people who say this hasn't gone far enough.
Or why is Ed Asner on before me? Excuse me? Why? This is the black show, right?
Yeah.
I thought things would be different. Why the fuck is Ed Asner coming out before me on the black show too?
Yeah.
And it was rough. It was because I have a flaw in my personality. I love to please.
Oh,
I love to make people happy.
I know what you're talking about.
I want them to go home. I want Mike Epps to go home happy.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just can't make everyone happy. But I tried for 6 years.
Well, this is the thing, is that you're in this bind because you can't make everybody happy. You just can't all the time.
Spike Lee was angry because I simply couldn't give him the day he wanted. Sometimes when you're rolling out a movie, if the movie opens tonight, back in the day, movie opens tonight in the theaters, Spike wants to be that Friday night guest, also knowing, and this is just an example, also knowing, say, for instance, that more people might watch on a Friday because they don't have to work on a Saturday. And sometimes numbers on a Friday are better than Monday. But he had a specific day he wanted. And we were already booked with our first guest out. And he got angry at me.
Yeah.
And, and that stuff happens every day. Back then, you build up a thick callus on your heart because you get attacked every day by somebody for something.
Okay, that I don't believe, because you strike me. I think there are some similarities between us. I think that I try to pretend things don't hurt me, but they do. And I know you, and everyone knows you to be a really decent, good person. I think that it did really bother you probably to get, it hurts because you're so trying to make everyone happy with this show.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're thinking, okay, I accept that there's a white executive who doesn't understand, but I would think Spike Lee.
White executive, you say, I want to do 2 numbers with Bobby Brown. And they'll say, the model? And and you realize your struggle is you're ready to go straight uphill. It's going to be hard,
But we both, because there's something going back to your origin story, your dad was a preacher and very charismatic, performing preacher, and you're looking up, admiring this guy, and you talk in your book about how it meant the world to you to try and please him, and that you're still trying to do that to this day. You go through, and I know what you're talking about, because it wasn't that it's not that my parents were very loving, but I know that I was competing. I wanted attention from them. I wanted to make them laugh. And that is kind of the chemistry behind everything you do. And here I am all these years later, and they're gone, but I do think there's still part of me that's trying to win them over. And so there's so many things in your book where I go like, oh my God, I understand. My dad's a microbiologist. He's not a preacher, but it's the same thing.
Did he want you in the family business?
I kind of think he wanted one of us to be a doctor. And then he quickly saw these idiots. I don't want them operating on me. So he was happy that I got into comedy.